So I decided to have a party. And the reason I told my friends I was having this party is that it was my son's 5th birthday. No. Kai wasn't turning 5 for 6 more weeks. The real reason for the party? I was going crazy. Stir crazy. Bat shit crazy. I had been home with Kai every hour of the day of the week, every week of the month for what felt like 15 years. But then I would turn and look at him and he was still only 5. And technically not even that. It was like I was caught up in some sort of twisted science fiction time warp nightmare. What had I done to deserve this? Now don't get me wrong. I value every moment that I can spend with my son, every breath that enters his fragile little lungs, every piece of slimy spittle that flies across the room when he's sucking down a banana. At least conceptually. At least theoretically. At least that's what the future me tells the current me when we meet in fevered sweat dreams while I'm clutching the sheets and wondering why the hell the numbers on my clock never seem to budge. But hey, some days can be a real slog. Now, I'm not surprised my friends didn't notice that Kai's birthday came way too early. But I kind of figured his dad would say something.
I know when Kai was born, it was dark. It was night. It was hot. Warmish. I was sweating a lot. Why was I sweating so much? I know the hospital had AC. Spring. My boy was a spring baby. Look, before you all go in thinking I'm a terrible father, let me just say that this is a pattern for me. I'm terrible with dates, period. I mean, I don't know when Labor Day is or Memorial Day or which one comes first. I can't even remember my own parents' birthdays, mother or father. See, what I used to do is I had a piece of paper and I kept all these dates written down on it. And I kept it in my wallet, next to a condom. But, well, I got married, so I got to ditch the condom. And then I lost the piece of paper. But that's okay, because I married Ava. And she keeps track of all those important dates. So anytime one comes up, she lets me know I should send a card. Not that I would ever send a card.
I was going insane. Do you know what it's like dealing with your very own flesh and blood monster 24 hours a day, who doesn't sleep, blurts out anything at any time, complains about every meal you've ever made, and who takes her clothes off just for the hell of it? Well, that's what it's like when my mother comes to town. So when Ava invited me to her party, you know, I responded right away. I mean, I was desperate to get away from my mother and hang out with some relatively sane people for a change, even if it was just for an afternoon.
I hate kid parties. 90% of them are bullshit. You show up with your kid and he runs off and hangs out with the other kids and you're left with a bunch of parents you barely even know, trying to figure out what to talk about. Say, does your daughter really eat broccoli? That's amazing. You stick it in a blender with some applesauce and she can't even tell? You are a certifiable genius. Sorry, what kind of wipes do you use with your baby again? No, I had no idea that Walmart All Natural brand were just as good as Whole Foods Organics. Tom's of Maine is researching wipes now too. I'll definitely keep an eye out for those. You should have a blog. Oh, you do? Freaking naturalawesomeparent.wordpress.com. I'm looking it up as soon as I get home. I met this woman, Roxy, the week before at a cornhole tournament, which is a thing. And asked her to come to the party with me. I was desperate for someone to talk to about something, anything other than children.
So this guy I met at a cornhole tournament wanted me to go to a party with him. Well, I asked him what kind of party, and he didn't say. I thought it was kind of weird it started in the middle of the day, but I was up for it. My rule is no drinking before 6 p.m. unless there's a pretty good reason, like a cornhole tournament or a party with a guy I barely know. And plus, My ex-husband had just lost his job and I wanted to celebrate. I had spent too much time soaking in my own misery. It was time to face the world, and this guy was going to help me pry open the iron gates.
So I had everything set up. I had yogurt pretzels and juice boxes and celery sticks and Nilla wafers and chips and homemade salsa made from tomatoes from our garden. Okay, fine, the salsa came from H-E-B. But I put it in a jar that said homemade salsa. And then as I'm in the bathroom getting ready, Kai walks in. And get this, he says, Kai has a penis. Does Mommy have a penis? Oh my God. I can hear the first car pulling into the driveway. So I think, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna tell it like it is and hope he leaves me the hell alone. So I say, look, all boys have penises. All girls have vaginas, simple as that. Only he looks confused. So I say, look, all boys like you and Daddy have a penis, but Mommy has a vagina. Then he looks at me, smiles really big, and says, thanks, vagina mommy. What the hell?
I decided I'd fill up the kiddie pool. See, if there's one thing I know, kids love water. Well, heck, I love water. You know, I think most people, things, creatures, love water. There was a bunch of spiders in there, so I scooped most of them out. Anyway, the guests were showing up, and you know, I always let Ava take care of that. It's kind of like when you're at church and they tell you to greet your neighbor. I always try to act like I'm busy, you know, I'm grabbing the hymnals and I'm straightening them up, or I'm checking out my seat for gum or something.
I left my mother at home with my husband and son and told him not to call me. Even if there was an emergency. I told him the only reason I would want to hear from him is if we had won the lottery. Even then, it would have to be for more than $1 million. Anything else could wait.
As far as I'm concerned, there are two kinds of kid parties. Those with beer and those without. I was pretty sure this was going to be the latter, but you never know.
So I was a little surprised when Max showed up. He had to pick me up for the party. He had company. There were 2 extra people in the back seat. You have kids?
Huh? Oh, those guys?
Yeah.
Did I not tell you that?
No.
Do you still want to come?
I guess so. Now I was starting to worry there wouldn't be beer.
I bought beer. There was no way I was taking a chance it was going to be one of those kind of parties. I love Ava and Paul, but I don't really think of them as beer people.
Do you think we should have beer at the party?
God, I would love that.
Me too.
But I don't have to do with any judgment.
Totally.
I mean, I don't want our friends to think we're bad parents.
You know they probably already do.
Let's not make it any worse.
Fine, hide the beer.
Got it.
I had no idea this was going to be a kid party. I was having second thoughts for sure.
I find it's best not to tell women that you have children right away. You never know how they're going to react. It's best just to spring it on them. Show up with the kids, you know, and then what are they going to do with those cute little faces staring back?
But the truth is, I had kids too. I hadn't told him either. Sometimes I think it's best to wait for the right moment.
So I'm filling up the kiddie pool. Kai comes out and says, thanks, penis daddy. And she just shrugs. And the doorbell rings.
The door opens, and I'm standing there with Roxy and my kids, and this kid who opened the door looks up at us and just goes, penis, 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 vagina.
I could tell right away this was not going to be your garden variety kid party. Thank God.
I was mortified. Kai, I said, you come with me. We have to have a talk about genital appropriateness. I couldn't believe I said that out loud either.
I headed straight for the kitchen to see if there was any beer. Nothing.
I ran right to the backyard and opened up the cooler. Just juice boxes.
I pulled up with 2 cases of Milwaukee's finest. I haven't been greeted like that since after Hurricane Isaac when I showed up with a truck full of water and medical supplies. Oh wait, that was just a made-for-TV movie I saw. Anyway, beer wasn't even cold. Nobody cared.
Hey, should I get our stash?
Are you crazy? Save that for us.
So then this woman shows up like a kid party Santa Claus with 2 cases of beer. She didn't bring any kids, but I could tell she'd been through something. I was guessing twins with at least 1 bad case of reflux. And meanwhile, this kid is walking around to each guest and like he's Jesus or something and pointing and saying, Penis, 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 vagina.
Did Jesus do that?
Huh? I don't know. Probably did, just nobody ever wrote about it. It was awesome.
It was out of control. I pulled Kai aside again.
I was having the time of my life at this party. Kids are running around, none of it's mine, and I got a beer in each hand. Everything is under control.
So I got the kiddie pool filled up, and I've scooped out most of the spiders, when there's this knock at the back door. Now, I'm hoping Ava's going to get this, but the knocking keeps up. So I answer it, and there's this couple there. And the woman is staring at me like she has laser beams for eyes. And the guy, he is sweating. I mean, well, almost as bad as I was when Kai was born. And he keeps telling her, please put your shirt back on. I mean, who are these people? I was hoping they had the wrong address.
My mom, my husband. Writing me down.
Things were starting to get interesting.
Penis, penis, vagina, penis.
I walked up to Rod and said, we had better won the lottery, remember? More than $1 million, or you've got some explaining to do. It's your mom, he said. I couldn't stop her. I just shook my head at him, but I knew he was right. You couldn't stop her. You can't stop her. Nothing could be done. She took one of the beers out of my hand on the way to the living room. Rod took the other.
This woman comes over to me and asks if I know where the bathroom is. Then she asks why the beer isn't cold. Then she tells me that children are precious, precious beings, and she knows this because she's had 7 of them. 7. She wasn't wearing a shirt.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
So I realized that something's missing. My son. So I look to Rod and say, where is he? And he looks back. Who? And just before I'm about to smack him in the back of the head, Brennan tears across the lawn, through the backyard gate, and does a belly flop into the kiddie pool.
And that got rid of the rest of the spiders.
He was still wearing all of his clothes.
I don't usually go for older women, but there was something about this.
Don't even think about it.
Oh, is that your sister?
My mother, asshole.
Oh, not bad.
I went to look for more beer, if there was any left. When I get to the kitchen, there was this Amazon of a woman in there grinning at me.
Hey, you're the one who brought the beer.
That's right.
I like you.
You don't know me, honey?
I think I do.
And she starts telling me about her ex and what a small-minded son of a bitch he is.
Not just small-minded.
So I pull up a chair.
So I tell her all about all the stunts he pulled when we were together. How he wasn't faithful to me even on our wedding day.
Not even one day?
Not even an hour.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Things were picking up.
I told my son he had to watch it. You can't just bandy genitalia around at a birthday party, even your own. Not till you're legally an adult, anyway. You need to be discreet. But then I worried I was giving him a complex. You know, my mother never said the word vagina when I was a kid. Or an adult. Or maybe ever. I saw the look of concern on his face, and so I said, you know what? You can talk to me about your penis anytime.
Anytime?
Within reason.
Did you tell him that too?
No.
I see.
Okay, look, I may not win any awards for inspirational parenting, but I do mean well.
Oh, it's true. She does mean well.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
So I'm trying to help this attractive older woman find the bathroom. I open up the door, and I see Ava in there talking to her son about his dick.
Oh, come on!
What?
Do you have to use that word?
Dick?
That's the one.
You prefer Johnson?
No. No, I do not.
I started having flashbacks of when my mother talked to me about my member. I was considerably older than Kai at the time. 16. I started sweating.
I know that.
Then I closed the door.
Good move.
So I'm in the kitchen with Roxy on my second beer.
Third?
But who's counting?
Right.
When it occurs to me, I haven't seen my husband or my son in quite some time, which, you know, is good on one hand, but bad on another. So I start to wonder what's going on.
So after this kid jumps into the pool with all his clothes on, the guy who I'd opened the door for earlier, he comes running out. He's looking really concerned. And he's telling the kid, please come out of the pool. Your mama's going to throw a hissy fit.
A what?
Anyway, so he's holding onto the side of the pool. He slips. He falls in too.
Fingers.
So I'm still pretty red in the face from seeing Ava and her son having the talk.
We weren't having the talk. We were having a talk.
Right, a talk about the thing.
But not the talk, which is what I think you meant to imply, but which will come much, much later in his life.
Like when he's 16.
If then.
As long as Abe takes care of it.
I heard that. So I'm embarrassed and I'm still standing next to this attractive older woman.
Do you have to keep calling her that?
What, attractive?
I guess that's fine.
Older?
That's okay too.
Woman?
It's all of it all together, okay? You just make her seem like some sort of aggressive elderly predator or something. And that disturbs me.
I think I understand.
Thank you.
So this topless older
Oh, forget
woman,
it!
I feel a kind of growing sexual tension.
Fortunately, that's when the explosion happens.
Incredible. There hadn't been any rain in the forecast at all.
I had another beer.
I have not seen the sky light up like that since last 4th of July, which happens to be on July 4th.
I know what some important dates are.
This party had everything. Cake, beer, fireworks, inappropriate conversations around genitalia, and topless older women.
Okay! First of all, I don't like those words used in secession about my mama. So I already told him. Second, there was just one topless woman, not multiple.
Not yet, anyway. The only thing missing was cornhole.
Hey, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I don't actually like cornhole.
What?
Yeah, I should have told you before.
Then it occurs to me, we have a major potential hazard here if that lightning gets any closer to the water.
Kai and I are in the bathroom comforting each other about his penis. Which I know sounds weird, but whatever. When I hear Paul screaming at the top of his lungs like he's Roy Scheider in Jaws 2.
Everybody out of the pool! Everybody out of the pool!
It's only 1.5 feet deep.
Do you think Zeus cares how deep a kiddie pool is?
Zeus? Oh my God, I married a dork.
I love you, honey. Anyway, so all the kids are scribbling out of the pool, but the guy who had fallen in earlier, he's just lying there unconscious.
You see, Rod's got this thing where he's prone to narcoleptic episodes. It's exacerbated by stress.
Wow.
I know, right?
Are you sure he's just not drunk? I mean, that just happened to my ex sometimes. Well, most of the time.
No, he hadn't drink.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
He passed out on our wedding day.
Yikes!
And when Brennan was born.
He's just lying there unconscious while you're...
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And it happens once a week or so whenever my mother comes to town.
well, I can see that.
Well, you know, that's probably what happened. You know, it was just all too much for him to take, but, you know, I couldn't really tell for sure because I was in the kitchen with Roxy.
Having beer number...
But who's counting?
Right on, sister.
I didn't know what to do. I had never had an unconscious dude in a pool before.
I have. Just before we met.
So, I tell Ava to call 911.
What? Why?
Look!
Oh, crap! So I go call 911.
All the kids come running back into the house soaking wet. My kids are clinging to me, asking if I brought any towels. Of course I didn't.
Man.
Hey,
Well, that's true, right?
that's when we hear the sirens. This ambulance pulls up and these 4 EMS guys get out and circle around to the backyard, and then I see the body in the pool.
Rod!
Kai loves sirens, but then again, who doesn't? We all go back to watch.
I run out to help, but you know, the EMS team was already on it. They were pulling Rod onto the lawn and checking his ears and listening to his feet or you know, whatever the hell else. But I tried to tell him it was just narcolepsy brought on by stress, and you know, they just didn't seem to care.
All the kids and parents are now outside in the rain circling the body. I want to help too. It just seems like too many cooks in the kitchen, you know?
I know, exactly. Hey, you want a beer?
Oh, definitely. You really don't like cornhole?
Not now.
You know, I am freaking out because I'm thinking this is pretty much the worst birthday party in the history of ever. Especially because it's not actually anyone's birthday. I start to think we're going to get arrested for false advertising or something.
Whoa. It wasn't Kai's birthday?
Oh, Paul.
What?
And then of course Kai is smiling wide with the ambulance lighting up the yard like it's some kind of rave. He's beside himself.
I can see Rod's gonna be okay.
And then he walks up to the EMS guys and he's like, penis, penis, penis. Vagina?
Kai said that, not Rod.
Of course.
Well, it was kind of hard to tell that last one.
Yeah, the uniforms aren't the most flattering for women.
So true.
So, I tell the EMS team, it's all under control. They shouldn't even come out here in the first place. And that's when one of them looks me in the eye and asks me how much I've had to drink.
Well, Tristan's about to ask for her own private breathalyzer test when her mother walks into the backyard totally spanking nude.
My God.
I just looks at her for a second and then, vagina. That's right, son.
At some point, it occurs to me that the entire house is now completely empty. I look over at Roxy and wonder if she's thinking what I'm thinking.
Man, that EMS guy on the left is one tall, cool drink of water.
Hey, you want to go take a tour of the house?
A what?
I'm sure the master bedroom is worth a look.
Oh, gross.
Are you serious?
Can't hurt to take a peek.
No, no, no.
Sure, why not?
Oh, still got it.
Don't encourage him. That's our bedroom.
Oh, yeah, hey. It's nothing happened.
Why do you have to go and tell them that?
So anyway, when Rod is eventually back in one piece and the kids are all dry and Tristan's mom has her clothes back on. Most of them anyway. I try to salvage what I can. I figure we should play a nice mellow game to get everyone settled. Charades! Everyone loves charades, right?
Well,
You just don't like any kind of fun whatsoever.
that is not true.
With all the kids and adults there, we decided cartoon characters should be the theme. Harmless enough. Only when it's time to pull the names out of the hat, someone has replaced all the slips of paper with penis, penis.
It was me.
So that made for an interesting day. But all in all,
It was a good party.
It was a good party.
There was beer.
It could have been worse.
it was a great party.